How much more time will you take? I swear I will leave you here. He threatened, looking annoyed as he gazed at you standing in front of the mirror fixing your hair. He let out a frustrated sigh when you ignored him upteenth time in the morning. You have been playing with your hair from the last 1 hour and nothing changed. We are getting late, Ryan. He grated out. You huffed and put down the hairbrush, turning towards him. Can you please shut your mouth for a second? I am getting ready. Don't disturb me. We aren't going to a fashion show. We are going to our farmhouse, to our family. They aren't gonna abandon you if you won't you present yourself as a model. He sarcastically retorted, rolling his eyes. Oh, shut up. You snapped and turned back facing mirror and resumed making new hairstyle which you had been trying to make only to mess up in the end. Your arms have started hurting now. You gasped when Jimin snatched the hairbrush from your hands and threw it on the dressing table. Whoa, you were cut off when he ruffled your already messed up hair, further disheveling it. You blinked your eyes, processing the situation. You formed your jaw and glared at him through your raised filled eyes. I'll kill you, Park Jimin. You lifted your hands to grab his hair, but he held them midway and threw you on his shoulder. Yeah, put me down, stupid. You thrashed your limbs, yelling at him until you felt a slight sting sensation on your butt. You stopped your movements, your eyes widening in your shock. Did you just Yes, I spanked you, and if you make any movement again, I'll spank you again. I have had enough of you and your hair. We have to reach at our farmhouse and we are already late. So stop moving and let me do my work. You scoffed. What made you think I'll listen to you? You started hitting on his back, wriggling to free from his hold. Park Wyan, last warning. He warned sternly. You halted your movements, well aware that he was dead serious this time. You stayed limp as he carried you downstairs and out of the house like a potato sack. He buckled you inside the car. Dare to move from here. He squinted his eyes, giving you a pointed look. Bags. What are our bags? I need to bring them. Let me. You tried to unbuckle the seat belt. He crossed his arms, spinning under his hard glare. Bhagwan. You groaned, sitting back on the passenger seat, your face twisted in annoyance. I hate you. You crossed your arms, looking away from him with a sulking, pouty face. He shook his head, walking back inside the house. After a few moments, he came back, making sure to lock the house properly. He got in the car, taking the driver's seat. You observed with sidelong glance as he buckled his seat belt. He started the car as the engine roared to life and drove towards your destination, your family farmhouse. You and his family decided to take break from the hectic life and spend some time together, and you both were so up for it. Your eyes caught your reflection in the front mirror. Your jaw dropped, looking at your messed up state. You glared at Jimin, boring holes in his skull with your intense stare. What? You spoke, feeling your eyes on him, staring ahead at the road. What? You are asking me what? Look at me. I look like I didn't bath for days. Well, it's true though. You don't bath for days. He shrugged his shoulder, glancing at you once. A deep frown formed between your forehead. Yeah. Are you calling me nasty? I didn't call you anything. You happen to know the truth. His lips curved in a sexy smirk. You flared your nostrils in anger, the crease on your forehead deepening further. For your information, I am the cleanest person existing on earth. I am not nasty. You shouted the last part near his ear. He hissed and pressed the brakes, halting the car with a jerk. He tilted his head, narrowing his eyes at you. When did the last time you showered? Today morning. After how long? He raised his eyebrows. You gulped inaudibly and leaned back on your seat. Your shoulders slumped down as you looked away from his questioning yet teasing gaze. After week, isn't it? Blood rushed upward to your neck and ears as those turned red in embarrassment. You knew he was right, so to escape from the awkwardness, you decided to play it cool. Whatever it is, I was busy this week, didn't get the time to bath. What's the big deal in it? You breathed out, though you were cringing inside to present this lame excuse. I understand. You were busy binging Netflix whole damn week. You were busy enjoying your work days off. I feel you, my dear wife. You were very busy. He sarcastically smiled while you ducked down in embarrassment. Um, let's go. We are getting late. You stammered, avoiding his eyes. He sighed and again started driving. You stayed outside the window, mesmerized by the scenery. The gentle breeze gazed your skin, providing a relaxing feeling. You observed as the hustle bustle of city left behind, as your eyes blessed with the beautiful sights of countryside. A thick silence spread inside the car as Jimin focused on the road ahead while you drank in the alluring sights. All of a sudden, a thought clicked in your mind. I don't look good. Your voice was barely audible, but Jimin heard it amidst the serene silence. He glanced at you and sighed when he found you looking outside, a sad pout gracing your rosy lips. He suddenly stopped the car. You looked at him perplexed as he removed his seat belt and got down the car. You watched him proceeding towards an ice cream vendor. He came back holding two ice creams in his hands. He rounded the car and jogged towards your side. He gestured you to come outside through his eyes. You followed his signals, confused yet excited to savor the mouth-watering sweet dessert in his hands. You leaned against the car door, a sweet smile tugged at your lips. You waited for him to hand you your share. Instead, he licked his ice cream, humming in ecstasy. You watched him eating his ice cream, holding yours in his hand. Your senses claimed with irritation. It's amazing. Do you want some? He purposely teased, triggering you even more. You whined and made a crying face ready to wail out ugly in the next 3 seconds. He chuckled. Here, don't kill me with your murderous eyes. Your eyes shone with glee as you savored the sweet dessert which melted in your mouth, melting your senses along with it. Jimin finished the ice cream and observed you feasting on yours with a small smile. He never knew he could feel warmth and happiness in watching someone having an ice cream. His eyes moved from your captivating amber eyes to your button nose and further down to your pink rosy lips, which were busy devouring the cold dessert. He lifted his hand, gliding it through your hair, brushing your hair gently. You halted and lifted your gaze, meeting his charismatic dark brown eyes. Amber to brown, you and him, surrounded by the appealing greenery, having ice cream together, with a beautiful sunset adoring the scene in the background, holding intense eye contact. A perfect K-drama moment. I don't want to say this, but you look beautiful in every way. Even when you woke up with tangled hair and drool all over your face, you don't need to stand in front of the mirror and groom yourself for hours. I'm not telling you to stop doing that. You can do anything you want, but don't be upset that you don't look good. Beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. You stared at his face, listening to him calmly. His words spread an unknown warmth inside you, awakening those emotions which only bloomed when he is around. I hate you. You whispered, earning a heartfelt laugh from him. The feelings are mutual, my darling wife. You winced when he slightly tugged at your hair and took a bite from your ice cream. You gaped at him with wide eyes and gritted your teeth. You You cursed and hit some blows here and there, which he laughed it off because your blows were like a feathery touch, which only managed to tickle him. You finished your ice cream, with Jimin stealing few bites despite your struggles of keeping him away. You desperately pressed the doorbell, excited to meet your family. Jimin carried your and his luggage, throwing pointed daggers at you. I'm not your butler. Carry your stuff by yourself. He asserted out, placing your bag beside you. Shut up. It's your punishment to drag me out. I couldn't even do my makeup. Look how pale my face is looking. You narrowed your eyes at him. If you want, I can shade your face better than your makeup. Seeing the smirk on his face, you knew he was up to something. Your husband was known for his flirty skills. You gulped when you saw him leaning closer. You instinctively arched back when you felt his hot breathe on your cheeks. Your eyes moved to his plump lips, which were just few inches away from yours. Your heart thudded inside your ribcage due to the extreme closeness. His manly fragrance tickled your senses, erupting thousands of butterflies inside you. Blood rushed to your cheeks as he promised earlier. Your pale face turned into a deep shade of red. But his intentions were something else. He inched further, gradually decreasing the bugging gap between you both. You did back off, as if giving your consent to do the deeds. As his lips were about to meet yours, the entrance door flung open, a loud cough followed after. Your eyes widened in horror, and you hastily pushed Jimin, distancing yourself from him. You both stood upright, avoiding each other's eyes. The air around you lingered with awkwardness. Your attention diverted to your brother, who was still coughing. Rolled your eyes at your dramatic brother. You are overreacting, Taeyong. He immediately stopped coughing. Respect the elders, young lady. Maintain the decency. What if our parents open the door? What would they witness? Him towering over you? Oh my goodness, kids nowadays. He dramatically shook his head, looking between his best friend and sister. He watched them keenly as his face twisted in disgust. Did you guys do something hanky panky in the car? You look kinda. He exclaimed, pointing at your messed up hair and Jimin's crinkled shirt. Having enough of his nonsense, you shoved him out of your way and entered inside to find your parents. You were excited, yet overwhelmed as you were meeting them after 5 months. After getting married 6 months ago, you got packed up with work and didn't get enough time to meet them. Entering inside, a homely warmth spread inside you, reminiscing about beautiful childhood memories. Diamonds shone in your eyes as you looked around the house where you had spent gazillion family vacations, your and Jimin's family. Your desperate eyes caught the sight of your father and father-in-law who were playing chess in the living room. Dad, you chirped excitedly, their heads snapped in your direction as their lips curved in the most beautiful smile. You rushed towards them and hugged them tightly. I missed you guys so much. You chimed, parting away and held their hands in yours. They chuckled, patting your head affectionately. Where are moms? You asked when you didn't see them in the living room. Kitchen. They are preparing dinner. I'll go and meet them. You turned around and found your brother and husband glaring at you. You frowned, confused by their pissed off expressions, until you noticed your bag in Taeyong's hand. When will you start being responsible? You rolled your eyes at his remark. Thanks, keep my bag in my room. You gave him a tight lipped smile and made your way towards the kitchen, ignoring the scold look of his face. Mom, you sang, throwing yourself in your mother's arms. She hugged you back with the same passion. Parting away from the hug, you proceeded to hug your mother in law, who was as excited as you, seeing you after months. I love you so much, Mom. You backed off from the hug and kissed her cheek. There was no doubt you shared a special bond with Jimin's mother. She was more like your best friend. Your eyes diverted from her to another person who was patiently waiting for you to hug her. Gina, my baby. You squealed, embracing Jimin's sister or Taeyong's wife. You both were besties from childhood. Finally, I have a lot to talk to you. Now I can actually enjoy my vacation as my bestie is with me. You both hopped like bunnies. The elderly lady shook their head at your childishness, but didn't they say anything because they were like that too. In fact, they are still like that. After a little meet-up session, you turned towards your mother. Mom, is there anything I can help with? You politely offered your help. Nah, we are almost done. Why don't you go and freshen up? We'll be done by then. You nodded and turned to leave, but you halted at the threshold of kitchen and stepped back towards your mother. A surprised yelp escaped through her lips as you hugged her tightly and kissed her cheeks. I love you. You fled away from there, leaving them chuckling at your cuteness. The dinner was full of joy. The families were reminiscing good old memories. Hearty laughers and sweet murmurs filled the air. You silently enjoyed the heartfelt commotion among your people, sipping your favorite soup that your mother in law specially prepared for you. You were sitting between your two besties. Taeyong and Jimin were sitting across you. Gina nudged your arm. You craned your neck, meeting her eyes, giving her an annoyed look. She smiled sheepishly, as if she just didn't interrupt a big foodie during her fast. How is life going with my brother? Okay, I guess. He's still annoying and I still hate him. You murmured, glaring at Jimin. The event of him holding you out was still irritating you, and you were determined to seek revenge after the vacation. Of course, you won't ruin your euphoria messing with him when you knew he would find a way to get back at you. And him too. Your piercing gaze shifted from your husband to your brother, who had his mouth full of food, yet he was preparing to stuff another spoonful in his mouth. Your husband is more like an animal than human. See how he is literally ruminating like a pig. You remarked, earning a glare from Taeyong while the Park siblings giggled silently. He wanted to throw a cocky comment at you, but his mouth was occupied. He carefully looked at his surroundings. Seeing the elders busy in conversing among themselves, he lifted his hand, showing his middle finger, not until he felt the piercing gaze of his father. He smiled nervously, leaned forward, wiping the corner of Gina's lips, altering his lured gesture to a caring one. I would just. He looked at his father, terrified, sighed in relief, and he averted his eyes and focused back to the ongoing conversation. I will get you back later. He gritted out, glancing between you and your father, scared to even raise his voice above whisper, well aware the consequences of messing with the overprotective father's girl. Roll your eyes, mocking him. Almost everyone was finished eating and having random talks. Your eyes were on Jimin, who was laughing about something Taeyong told him, admiring every moment of his presence in your life. Someone was saying, I hate him. She said, breaking your staring stance. You quickly looked away, nervousness taking over you. I hate him. You mentally scolded yourself for shuddering. She smiled and shook her head. Your eyes and your mouth are not in sync. You can lie, but your eyes can't. A deep frown formed between your forehead as you processed her words. What do you mean? Nothing. She shook her head, smiling to herself. You gaped at her weirdly. You are turning like your husband day by day. Weirdo. Same to you. You are also turning like your husband. Angry bird. You both glared at each other before bursting into fits of laughter. After a long gossiping session with your best friend, you both decided to hit the bed. As you came inside your room, now your and Jimin's room, you found him under the covers reading a book. You made your way towards the bathroom to do your night routine. You dismissed the idea of taking shower and decided to just wash your face. Walking towards the wash basin, you searched for your face wash. Where is it? I remember I kept it here. You murmured to yourself, searching for your face wash between your other essentials. Your eyes caught the sight of the face wash bottle lying on the floor. You bent down and picked it up. A look of bafflement took over your features as you found the bottle empty when you clearly remember placing a new one there. A thought stuck in your mind. You closed the bottle and stormed outside. What is this? You burst out, your frustration mounting with each passing second. He startled and averted his gaze from the book to blazing you, then at your hand. It's face wash, the one that you use. He replied monotonously as if he had asked a question by a teacher. I know that, but why is it empty? You snapped. He sighed and closed the book. Keeping it on the nightstand, he leaned against the headboard, crossing his arms against his chest. Why is it empty? That can be a good topic of research. He taunted, and it triggered you even more. Park Jimin, you gave a stern look as if threatening him through your eyes. Within seconds, his demeanor changed from relaxed to nervous. He sat upright and smiled awkwardly, scratching his neck. I actually forgot to bring mine, so I used yours. Whole bottle, you probed with a look of disbelief on your face. I, it smells good, like raspberries, like you. I couldn't help myself washing my face again and again, and before I knew, it was already empty. His smile dropped when he saw you huffing like a bull ready to attack. Van, listen. He screeched loudly as you marched in his direction. He hastily got down the bed and ran for his life. You chased him, resolute to give him a piece of your mind. Stop, I won't leave you today. You tried to match his stamina and get a hold on him. You tried. Few moments into wasting your energy in exercising behind him, you stopped panting like a dog. He also stopped across you on the other side of bed, trying to catch his breath. Your eyes fell on the dozens of pillows arranged neatly on your bed. Grabbing one after another, you poured pillows on it, only a few of which managed to hit him. Oh, I hate you. You stomped your feet, thrashing your limbs in air, showing your resentment towards his doings. Rounding the bed, he stepped towards you. One. He softly called, reaching out to hold your hand. He sighed when you yanked away his hand, rejecting his touch. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were so obsessed with the mere face wash. If I knew, I would have never dared to touch it. I didn't mean to upset you. He uttered softly, trying to coax you with sweet words. I'll buy you another one, the first thing in the morning. No, I know you did it intentionally to annoy me. You cried out in distress, hitting his chest with your soft small fist. He let out a sigh. One, baby, listen to me. He held your wrist. You wrenched your wrist free from his hold, losing your balance by the sudden force. You held the first thing that touched your palm in reflex. You fell on the bed, tearing Jimin's t-shirt that was clutched between your palms. He stumbled, losing his own balance and fell on you. His now bare chest crushed yours under his weight. His nose touched yours, lips a whisper away to meet yours. Your eyes were tightly shut due to the sudden fall. You opened them when you felt a heavy weight and comforting warmth around you, meeting his alluring eyes, which were already staring at yours, amber to brown, and you forgot how to breathe. His eyes were deep ocean of raw emotions. Your reflection in his eyes enhanced your beauty even more. No doubt his eyes were beautiful, and it felt surreal to drown in the insides of those charming orbs that held the power to make you weak in your knees just by a mere glance. The confabulation between your eyes came to a halt when the door of your room burst open and the other six persons passed inside. The elders were quick to turn their face away. Gina was smirking while they choked on air, coughing like never before. The intense eye contact between you and Jimin broke, and you both averted your eyes towards the door. Your pupils dilated in shock. You pushed Jimin, who was equally shocked and embarrassed as you. You both stood upright, avoiding eye contact with anyone. The walls looked more mesmerizing for you to stare at. With a sidelong glance, you observed Jimin. Your eyes popped out, seeing him standing almost shirtless, the torn t-shirt hanging on his shoulder. Your already pink cheeks turned scarlet as you imagined the compromising state the elders had witnessed you in. "We are sorry." They spoke in unison, dashing out of the room. Your eyes diverted to Gina, who winked at you before dragging out Taeyong, who was still coughing in disgust. You face palmed in embarrassment and slumped down on the bed. You felt the mattress beside your sink, pointing. Jimin had sat beside you. The air in the room turned heavy under the weight of timidity and constraint. You removed your hands from your face and cleared your throat to shrug off the uneasy feeling. It's all, it's all because of you. You commenced, your voice barely audible. "Oh gosh, that was so embarrassing. Why do you have to get on my nerves every time?" You added sternly, gaining your firm composure. The shyness and flirting feeling was gone as you pinned him under your piercing gaze. Jimin scoffed in disbelief. "Are you really blaming me for everything? You are the one who was running behind me like a crazy dog. You are the one who is responsible for everything." He stared on few words, showing distaste towards your accusations. You gasped, gaping at him with big eyes. Within a swift motion, you stood on the bed, placing your hands on your waist firmly, trying to intimidate him. "Your fault. No one used my things and gets away with it, and you dare to empty my face wash. All the evidences are against you, Park Jimin. You are the real culprit." Jimin also got up to his height, towering over your small frame. "You torn my t-shirt?" He squinted his eyes. "It was an accident," he retorted, mirroring his expressions. You both glared at each other. The next moment, your hands were on his hair and his on yours, pulling it harshly. "Leave me. First you leave me." You both snapped at each other, fighting like wild cats. The bed beneath made loud creaking sound due to your movements. A loud yelp escaped from your lips when he pulled your hair harshly. You tugged his hair more tightly, uttering a loud groan from him. "Park Jamin, Park Wyan." The creaking sound of bed got more intense. It shook vigorously under your violent movements. It fought with every atom of its frame until it couldn't bear anymore, and with a loud squeak, it took its last breath and died then and there. It hushed down lifeless after years of serving comfort to you. Before you and Jimin could comprehend the situation, you both fell down on the floor. A loud, painful moan released from your and Jimin's mouth. "My head." You clutched your head, which was paining after striking with hard blow. "My back," he whimpered, squirming on the floor. You both helped each other in sitting upright. Your eyes traveled to the bed, which lay there with broken bones. You both shared a glance and held your head. Taeyong and Gina, who were outside your room since forever, heard your last curse before everything went silent. The elders couldn't stay after the bed started creaking, and they dismissed to their respective rooms with a content smile, counting days to become grandparents. They broke the bed and whispered in horror. Gina giggled, hugging him sideways. "Guess we are going to get good news for them really soon." "But they broke the bed," he iterated, still shocked by whatever his ear had witnessed. "Your brother is wild. He's going to break Ryan's legs." Gina chuckled, seeing his dumbstruck face, which looked funny to her. "Let's go and sleep. Enough of unholy things," she suggested, but he shook his head and marched towards the door of your room. "Taeyong, what are you doing?" She was quick to hold him back. "I need to stop them before they end up breaking the entire house," he cried out, scared to lose his favorite holiday spot. "Don't be dramatic and let's go. Let them enjoy their time." She dragged a crying Taeyong away from there. "My house." He wailed out, eagerly roaming his eyes around the house, as if he won't be able to see the house ever again.